What's going on, y'all? It's your boy 300. We are back with another video. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Spend it with your family and friends, your loved ones. Stay safe. If you have cranberry sauce, you're just nasty. Let's talk about Chucky season 2, episode 8. I actually enjoyed this episode, right? It's kind of funny. I enjoyed this episode, and I guess it's because, man, I was just itching for some blood and gore and some just action jam-packed, and it felt like the pacing in this episode was like on point. The pacing was good. All the characters kind of came together. You thought some stuff was gonna go down, some killings happened. I was excited. The way Chucky was executing those kills, and then how he got killed, I was just like, oh man, I loved it. But there's still issues within that episode and throughout this whole season that it was just all over the place. So I'm gonna just quickly just say that season 2 felt like a shock value season. It felt like every episode was trying to pay homage to everyone. And to bring in viewers, they were just throwing some shock value, whether they were trying to make believe that they were fucking Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street or playing, trying to be Hannibal Lecter. And although, again, those episodes were cool in some aspects, I kept forgetting what the damn plot of the actual story was with this Chucky show, with this season. And I just kept getting thrown off. The Jennifer Tilly episodes, in my opinion, were some of my least favorite. I liked the introduction of Glenn and Glenda. Wish we could have had more with them, and had we had like a 20 episode stretch, I think we would have got even deeper within each character and their storyline. But then again, there's no excuse because every episode was just so different from what the plot was. Like, we all know who the characters were, but so many different things were happening. Like that murder mystery episode that featured Liv Morgan at the end. Shout out to her, great wrestler, but that episode was whack. It was just like pointless filler. It also felt like every time a character was about to finally break and show more of themselves, they got killed or removed. I didn't even know they ended up having a Jennifer Tilly doll where she was actually in the Bride doll. Well, she was in the Tiffany doll, whatever. She was in the Bride doll, and they had Jennifer Tilly in there all these years, right? As soon as the next episode comes and something about to be revealed, they try to pay homage to what Bride of Chucky when the friend got out the van and left and got hit by the truck. All of a sudden, Jennifer Tilly runs in front of the street. She gets hit by a truck. Her doll character, whatever, ends up dying. We didn't even get a chance to really reveal and like bring everybody together to see what would have happened had they seen that she was still alive and all this other stuff and probably swapped whatever. And we didn't hear anything about it after that. So this episode didn't really explain what happened with that. We didn't see Andy and Kyle from that point. It was just all over the place. Some people would argue that I might be critiquing it too much, going too hard. I might give it too much negativity towards it. It's not that, man. I just want things to make sense. Like, Andy was held captive for like a whole year, and he's over here running and gunning. What happened to his leg, his injury? He limped for a little bit and was still running and gunning. Like, I'm confused by that. And every time something big happens, you didn't really feel that. You just got thrown off because, again, one of the biggest flaws with this season is there's really no risks. People, I'll put it like this. I'll give you an example. If you thought Chucky died, all of a sudden they had a Chucky in a safe, an extra Chucky in the safe last second. So it's like, okay, you think he was about to die. All of a sudden at the end of season 2, episode 8, you see Jennifer Tilly, or Tiffany, in the Jennifer Tilly's body. She's scared because Nika called her, and they now live in Times Square. And it looked like a cyberpunkish type of thing. I don't know what movie they're paying homage to, but Nika all of a sudden is like, I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna kill you, like on some shit, like Liam Neeson type shit. And then all of a sudden she wants to swap bodies with the doll, and we're gonna get to the little girl in a second. And as she's doing the ritual to do the possessed, I'm like, but didn't Chucky just switch souls with the old lady mad fast, and then also switch souls with the doll mad fast? Oh, you're doing possessed, right? Out of all things, you want to do possessed. You could have just did and switch like you normally do. But she told this voodoo ritual, whatever, and did the possessed, and all of a sudden, the curvature of the doll, the Bride doll, what happened to all that? All of a sudden, it ends up being Chucky. So I know, as a slasher fan of Chucky, back the OG Chucky, that is completely lost in this episode. And although we thought we had little bits and pieces of him, he's gone. And I understand a lot of people who are eating this up are fans of just loving like the pop culture style of this Chucky, but they really completely hammered that whole Chucky apart. Like, there's so much references to today's society with things that are going on paying too much homage to so much shit. It's like this dude became a cultural pop star, and it's no longer a slasher. It's weird, man. I have no problem with anything being implemented as long as it makes sense to the story. The story was so lackluster. All of a sudden Chucky swaps body with the female, with the old lady, the therapist, and then what? Opens up the safe to swap that body into the doll again. I thought his whole purpose was that he never wanted to be in the doll in the first place. But then again, of course, he did quote, you know, people get old and then people die. So like maybe that's why he wanted to go back to the doll. And also at the same token, I didn't know they discontinued good guy dolls, because don't you remember they were all in a truck filled with good guy dolls? So I thought those were still gonna be made. Also, Lexi's sister. The fact that the last episode we see everything unfold with her, it's like, where did that come from? Not one episode really disclosed an episode dedicated to her or dedicated scenes to her. It's just, and she was convinced, you know, Chucky manipulated her, brainwashed her into thinking that was her father and Jennifer Tilly was the mom. But then again, they set Jennifer Tilly up, and then Chucky came at the end and just basically killed her. It's like that little girl could have been utilized so much better in writing. And you guys had her show face a couple times, and then at the very last episode showed more face, and then she just turns up like that. Well, that was so random, and that's part of the problem, where there's really no risk. It's just there's nothing at stake here. There's nothing that, you know, if this happens, this is gone forever. It's like there's always going to be something coming in, captain saving a situation, and that's the problem. That's like if we would have saw Michael Myers about to get killed from Halloween Ends, and all of a sudden somebody goes, no, don't do it, let's give him a proper burial. Bitch, you know this motherfucker might come back to life. Why would you do that? Now we know we might get another Halloween movie with Michael Myers, but no, of course not. They completely ended the story by throwing him in disintegrated, whatever, and he got broken pieces. But that's my point. Nothing indicated that, okay, this is a final stretch. Bam. Something kept coming in and refereeing and assisting the situation. When we thought Jennifer Tilly was about to die and they said to call the cops, all of a sudden all the wounds were gone. She was good again, just like Andy with the injured leg. And it felt like there was no risk. There was no penalty. There was nothing going on. There was nothing vital to this moment. All of a sudden, when we thought she was going to die, the little girl comes in. She gives Jennifer Tilly the knife, and it makes Jennifer Tilly put it by her throat, and she tells them to put down the phone. It's like, damn, on the next episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Dragon Ball Z, bruh. It's like we think something's about to end, and then y'all keep bringing it back. That's the problem that I'm having. This whole, and then guess what? Pointless characters end up dying. Of course, when Chucky dies, I was like, oh shit, that's lit. Of course, when you seen that, when the mom died, when Lexi's mom died, I said, oh shit, and I love how that killing looked. You know, the everything, CGI or whatever was used, projectiles, whatever was used, it looked great. I loved it. I loved how it looked. It looked good. CGI Chucky, when he came down from the chimney, looked booty. I ain't gonna lie, I noticed it looked a little dookie, but it's okay. It's still okay. But all of a sudden, it's like the characters, like even if we might like a character, it was characters that didn't really play an impact that ended up dying. When we seen that the priest or the pastor, you know, he blew up. He finally opened up in the confessional, and I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get more of this. He ends up blowing up. Chucky possessed him. There was parts where I really liked, but just it was just all over the place. Oh my god. Just to let you guys know, for me, I don't really like the whole backstory of who Charles Lee Ray was. It was too dramatic. It was overly like, what the hell? Seeing that the therapist shaped him to be who he was when he killed his parents and everything else, and you know, making sure that he wasn't gonna be good. It was like on some Dr. Loomis shit. Even he was like so obsessed with Michael, like this therapist was so obsessed with like Charles and just making sure that he was gonna stay a certain way. And then later on, Chucky then smacked her and said, yo, we're doing a switch. So, and then obviously the flashback of that doll was really her flashback. So the fact that there was so much emphasis on that, and then guess what? We get nothing from her. We see a flashback, no extra storyline from it, and that shit, she's gone. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. There was a lot that happened. Make sure you see it for yourself, and let me know what you guys think, man. It's a cool show, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that there wasn't issues. There was a lot. CGI issues, some storyline issues. It's your boy 3MG. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Spend it with your family, friends, your loved ones. Stay safe out there. A lot of weird shit be going down, man. I love y'all. And once again, if you eating stuffing out the box, just as criminal, yo.